Okay, ready for a wild ride? Today, we're diving into The Forgotten Planet.
Ooh, yeah, I remember that one. Love the title.
It's a total trip, this book. You know how we usually think of Mars, right? Red dust, maybe some ice.
Right, pretty desolate.
Yeah, totally. But in The Forgotten Planet, forget all that. Picture a lush green moon orbiting a massive, beautiful planet named Ateron. It's like, picture Avatar
Okay, yeah.
with crazy advanced technology, stunning creatures, the whole shebang.
Wild.
It's the Cynos who live on Ateron, and they've got it made, right? And then there are these beings called the gray-eyed people living on Mars. They're like the keepers of ancient wisdom, super mysterious.
So you've got these advanced civilizations just vibing out there in the cosmos. It makes you think, what if they were real? Like, what traces might they have left behind? Some kind of cosmic breadcrumbs, maybe?
Right. And that's where the story goes from 0 to 60. Enter the Vraskians.
Oh boy, the Vraskians.
They make the Borg look like a knitting circle. They're led by the seriously intimidating figure Cawthor, and their whole deal is conquering the galaxy. Talk about ambition.
Sounds a bit too close to home, right? Like our own fears about, well, where unchecked ambition can lead, you know?
No kidding. And their next target, Ateron. And I don't mean a drive-by, I mean total obliteration.
Whoa, so what happens to the Cynos?
They're gone, like completely wiped out. And get this, the author suggests the asteroid belt is all that's left of Ateron. It's like this haunting reminder of a cosmic war we barely even remember.
Wow, that's heavy. Just a casual reminder that even the mightiest civilizations can vanish in a cosmic blink. And what about Mars? What happens to the gray-eyed people with Ateron gone?
Well, with Ateron gone, Mars gets thrown way out of whack.
Yeah, makes sense.
The gray-eyed people, they're forced underground, but they realize even hiding isn't enough to escape the Vraskians. These guys are relentless. So they hatch a desperate, daring plan to escape to a young, untouched planet.
Let me guess.
Earth. But not the Earth we know.
Right, right.
This is way, way back. Neanderthal territory. No cities, no technology, just raw primal survival. Talk about culture shock.
No kidding. That right there throws in a whole other layer of complexity. You've got these incredibly advanced beings showing up on a planet still in its infancy, relatively speaking. What do you do in that situation?
Right. It's a huge dilemma. Conquer, coexist, observe from a distance. The Forgotten Planet doesn't hold back on those questions.
I like that. Makes you think. So what do they choose? What do the gray-eyed people decide to do?
Instead of force, they choose integration. They start interacting with the Neanderthals, sharing knowledge, even interbreeding. And over time, their origins, their whole story, it gets lost, buried under layers of history.
Wow. That ties into all those debates about Neanderthals, right? Did they interbreed with early humans? Were they wiped out? What if some of our myths, you know, the ones about gods coming down from the sky, are actually echoes of these encounters with our interstellar cousins?
Chills, right. But it gets even wilder. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, a remnant of the gray-eyed people, they're still there, watching us, waiting.
Okay, now that is creepy. Watching and waiting. What are they waiting for?
Makes you wonder if every time we gaze at the stars, we're not just looking out into the void, but back at our own family photo album. Like, what if somewhere down there, on Mars, there's this whole civilization that knows our deepest secrets? Or maybe even remembers our grandma's space cookies recipe.
Right. I mean, it really flips the script on our whole cosmic narrative, you know? Suddenly we're not just this random blip on the radar of existence, but part of something much bigger.
Totally. It's like, what if all those myths we tell about gods and whatnot descending from the heavens, what if those aren't just stories, but hazy memories passed down through generations, like a giant game of cosmic telephone, but the original message was real?
The Forgotten Planet really hits that point home, yeah. It's not just your run-of-the-mill alien invasion story. It's asking, what if the aliens are us? Or at least, what if they're the ancestors we never knew we had?
And here's the kicker. The gray-eyed people, they're not just chilling in some Martian man cave. They're watching us, like actively observing their descendants. But why? Do they want to reconnect, have a family reunion? Or are they more like, oh, look what the cat's dragged in from space?
Yeah, that's the big question in these first contact scenarios, isn't it? On one hand, imagine the possibilities. Lost knowledge, rediscovered, meeting long-lost relatives, maybe even borrowing a cup of sugar from your intergalactic neighbor.
Or imagine showing up at the family reunion with potato salad and they brought the black hole generator, like, whoops, wrong Tupperware.
Exactly. But then there's that flip side. Misunderstandings, cultural clashes, maybe even a galactic war over who left the dimensional portal open.
Like that awkward moment when you bring up politics at Thanksgiving dinner, but on a cosmic scale.
Right. Suddenly, those family dramas take on a whole new meaning. And that's where the Forgotten Planet shines. It doesn't just throw aliens at us. It asks, are we ready for them? Are we even capable of understanding something so fundamentally different from ourselves?
The Forgotten Planet isn't just a story, it's a challenge. It throws down the gauntlet and says, okay, humans, what are you going to do with this? It's about history, sure, but it's also about facing ourselves, our own potential for both good and. Well, let's just say things could get messy.
Well, it's definitely not your average bedtime story. And that's what makes it so gripping. You're constantly on edge, wondering what's coming next.
Speaking of which, we're about to dive into the next chapter, and let me tell you, things get really interesting. But before we do, I think it's worth taking a beat to appreciate just how much this story packs in. We're talking aliens, ancient civilizations, potential family reunions, and we haven't even gotten to the part with the space lasers. And we're back, still trying to wrap our heads around the Forgotten Planet and its wild ride through, well, everything.
Seriously. It's like the author took every mind-blowing concept, aliens, lost civilizations, time travel, you name it, threw them in a blender and poured out this amazing story.
Right. It really makes you think, what if we're not just the product of some cosmic accident, but part of this ancient lineage stretching back to the stars?
It's almost a humbling thought, isn't it? To think that we, with all our technology and achievements, might actually be the younger siblings in the cosmic family.
Total mind blower. And it makes you wonder, if we ever did meet these Martian ancestors face to face, what would we even say? Hey, long time no see, can you pass the space salt?
Right. So, how'd you build those pyramids anyway?
Seriously. But on a more serious note, imagine the knowledge they could offer, the secrets of the universe just waiting to be unlocked, faster than light travel, maybe even the answer to why socks always disappear in the dryer?
Don't forget immortality. Who wouldn't want to pick their brain about that one? But that's where things get a bit, well, complicated. The Forgotten Planet makes a good point. Knowledge without responsibility can be a dangerous thing. What if, instead of using this advanced tech for good, we just...
Well, we've seen what happens when humans get their hands on powerful tools, right? Let's just say we don't have the best track record. So yeah, Meet 'em Our Cosmic Cousins could go either way. Utopia or utter chaos, a grand symphony of unity, or a really, really bad day at the Galactic Office.
And that's what makes The Forgotten Planet so powerful. It's not just a story, it's a mirror. It reflects back our hopes, our fears, our potential for both greatness and, well, for messing things up royally.
It's definitely given us a lot to think about, that's for sure.
Definitely. And that's the mark of a truly great story, isn't it? One that stays with you long after you've turned the last page. It makes you look at the world, at the universe, even at yourself, in a whole new light.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we've reached the end of this deep dive, but the conversation doesn't stop here. What do you think? Are we ready for a close encounter of the ancestral kind? Would you bake your space grandma cookies? Let us know in the comments. And until next time, keep exploring the wonders of the universe, both out there and within yourselves.